Okay, so whenever you're looking at line graphs, the first thing you need to think about is the scale. So the scale on the x-axis, in this case, it's time. You can see there it's time. And the scale on the y-axis, in this example, it's pulse rate. So how many beats per minute the heart is doing. So it's looking at a graph about the heart rate during exercise. And then just have a good look at it and see if we can work anything out. So I know that the heart rate when it started was around about 60. I know that it raised up to its highest point at about 5 minutes. I know that it stayed quite at that level for a couple of minutes, and then it started to come down, but it never came back down to the point that it started at. So there are a couple of things that I know just by looking at it. Now, if I want to move on from that, then I need to start maybe start annotating my graph. So by annotating, what I mean is by drawing on it. So I can see here on my scale, it goes from 0 to 20. So if it goes from 0 to 20, halfway has got to be 10. Okay? And that means halfway from there to there has got to be 15. So if that's 10 and that's 20, then that means that's going to be 30 and 40 and, sorry, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. Okay, so actually I can look across, and it would be better if I had a ruler, but I can still do it without. That's at 110, so I'm going to draw all the way across. So if any question came up about when was the heart rate at the highest, I know that it's 110 because I've just marked that on my graph. So when you've got your tasks, mark it on the graph, see what you can work out. If I'm looking at the bottom scale, if I know that that's 1 minute and that's 2 minutes, then in the middle is going to be 1 minute 30. I wonder if I can just draw this on there. 1 minute 30. Or 90 seconds, because that's the same. So that's 2.5 minutes and 3.5 minutes and so on and so on. Same with this way. So I can, if I look at this one here, so if it wants to say, well, at what point was the fourth reading? What was the heart rate at the fourth reading? I start at the fourth reading and I go across and I look there and I come down. Okay, so I can see that the fourth reading was taken at 3 minutes, and I can see that the heart rate was just over 80 but not quite 90. So I put that at 85 and make an estimate. Okay, as long as your estimate is good enough, that you will usually get the mark. So I hope that helps with when you're working out and interpreting line graphs.